Welcome back to another episode of Owning the Weight. I'm your host, Jillian Tedesco. Joining me is my co-host, Abby Lamb. We're here talking all things wellness, fitness, nutrition, family, lifestyle,
business.
Yeah, all the things.
All the things.
But today we want to talk about stress.
Because with all those things
comes stress. Yeah.
And more so like tools for coping with stress and dealing with stress.
I think originally we were going to call this managing stress. And I was like, like, I don't even have it all figured out yet.
That's okay.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of like what is it? Sydney calls it good stress and bad stress. E-stress. Is it e-stress?
Oh.
Ooh-stress? Here, I'm gonna text her while we're talking.
No, but good stress and bad stress. I mean, I would think of like good stress as like an opportunity, like a new opportunity.
Well, yeah, and it is good to have some stress. But,
for sure.
But over stress, have you ever heard stress is the silent killer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That cortisol.
Yeah, once you mess your cortisol up, it can affect more hormones in your body.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a downward spiral in your adrenal glands. I've gotten really overstressed in the past. I'm definitely out of that stage. It was just during business growth and raising kids and working a little too much and a little too hard, not sleeping properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of like the most common stressors
for people
you've experienced? Like
you've experienced? Me personally?
Yeah.
Well, business financials. Business financials.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, when you're trying, you're leveraged, you've just got a lot of risk on the table and you just don't know if it's going to work early on. And you've got a lot of people involved, their careers are on the line and it's just a lot of pressure and you're stressed. It's stressful.
Yeah.
So I've definitely been there in a much better spot now.
Fit Flavors is obviously, we love our nutrition here. What role do you think nutrition has a role with managing stress? Sure,
of course. I mean, food is fuel. Like it's so healing for your body. It's almost like medicinal in a way. It's just amazing what food can do. And food that is inflammatory brings stress into the body. So, think of the foundation of your health being like your movement, which is exercise, your nutrition, your diet, what you consume, whether you're sleeping or not, and then stress management. And that could be the things that you're involved in, the community, the friends that you have or lack thereof, your career, the pressures of maybe raising kids or a job, like all that affects your stress and then how your stress affects your life. And it those four things are kind of like, think about it as like your health foundation. And those four things are good. Everything's going to be great. But if you're not sleeping or you're super stressed, like you're going to have side effects. And, when you're young, you can get away with more things, your 20s and your 30s. And then if you've been doing it for so long, it starts to catch up with you in your 40s and your 50s. Or sometimes people have like bad habits, coping habits, like drinking or gambling or, and all that can start to weigh on stress and stuff like that. And that will definitely affect your health.
Yeah, for sure. How do you, I know for me, like one of the ways I kind of manage stress is self-care.
Oh, sure. That's definitely a great way to manage it. And you'll hear from a lot of women too, that they don't have time.
Yeah. Speaking of that, with someone that owns a business, has kids, I would consider that you prioritize your self-care, which is fabulous. How do you prioritize your self-care?
I always have. So I know this sounds so silly, but I put it on my calendar and I've had it. I'm normally 4 to 6 weeks out. Like sometimes I have like reoccurring things that are appointments every week, like certain workouts, but like my hair appointment, maybe a massage, a chiropractic appointment to do a cryotherapy. I'm just all the things I would do for myself. I have to schedule them. And so just like making sure I have some of those on my schedule throughout the week that I do for myself, just to make myself feel good. I'm very girly, so I like keeping up with myself. And though making time for myself definitely makes me feel better, more presentable, more confident. And I've gone through weeks of hell at work where like everything falls to the wayside. That's normally only for a week, and then I would be able to get back up. But I've gone through a couple seasons in business where I've really struggled and not had that time. But I know it was only for a season because I have been so good about prioritizing this. But if you're someone who's in that and you've never prioritized self-care and you're like, you're going to need to just make a change and give something up. Like, and you feel like you don't have time for it. You make a change and you make time for it. And then you realize, wow, how could I have never been making time for myself before? This is wonderful. And then you end up, you make it a habit.
Right.
I would say get it on the schedule and stick to it. You need to do it. The stamina that I have, the energy that I have comes from me pouring back in. And so if I'm not pouring back in, I can't give back out.
Yeah.
I
was just about to say, like, if it's a non-negotiable for me to not do my self-care. Like
you're all about them nails.
I love my nails. I get them done every 3 weeks with my guy at Diva Nail.
That's nice. I gave up doing nails. It's one of the things.
I just love it. I can zone out. I don't have to pay attention to anything. Nothing. Kids, decisions, responsibilities.
So
all I have to do is pick out a nail color.
Anytime I get a pedicure, I'm on my computer working. I'm like, this is a 1 hour where I can crush some work. They don't talk to you anyway. So like, I normally actually work at the nail salon, but I don't do my nails anymore.
Yeah.
Because of food production. I just quit doing them.
Yeah. It's to fill my cup back up and to make sure that I can like genuinely pour into other people's cups, because like there have been points in my life where I was not filling my cup up and I was still trying to fill up other people's cups, but it was coming from such a disingenuous, like such a fake place. Like I didn't have any more to give. So, but what role do you think? Because I mean, for me, having a hobby.
Okay.
So like I would consider like one of my hobbies working out with my husband. Like that is a hobby that we really enjoy doing together. What role do hobbies or like creative outlets play in managing stress for you?
It's good for
or for anyone.
It's good for the brain. It's good for the brain. Like you think about you're on electronics, and then to come home and be able to shift and go into something creative, whatever that is for you. For me, it's golf and fitness. And so it's like you're doing something physical and you're not in front of a screen and I'm increasing my heart rate. I'm challenging myself. I'm breathing fresh air, whatever it is. It's like stimulating different parts of my brain, which is a good yin and yang balance. Like, think about kids all day. Now they're literally on tablets more in school than they ever have been. And if they don't play sports and they come home and they get on the tablet, they're literally on tablets all day. And they're not giving their brain that break where like kids need to go outside and play. I mean, yeah, they get a recess, but it's 45 minutes. Like they need to be outside, breathing fresh air, getting vitamin D. And like, there's a balance to that. So I think it balances you whether you realize it or not. That creative outlet is giving you time to just whatever that is. I mean, some people, it might be reading a book, right? Whatever floats your boat that is relaxing for you. I think of it's like a battery charger, like my battery, Now I love my work, so it's great. There's parts of Fit Flavors that I don't love doing that sucks energy from me.
Yeah.
I don't hate doing it, but there's other work from Fit Flavors that doesn't at all feel like work. Like if I'm creating a recipe or I'm working on menu development,
it fills your cup.
Like that's not taking any of my battery charge from me. Now, if I'm staring at a screen all day doing it, I might need a break from that. But to have those things throughout my week, sometimes I do something every day. I would say I'm pretty selfish, and I'm okay saying that. It's taken me a while to get here, but
I wouldn't say it's selfish. I would just say it's making yourself a priority.
I'm very good about it because I've learned that's what's given me the stamina and the energy to give to the team. I'm a people person, so I'm like always in front of people. I'm talking, I'm pouring into it, and my kids too, and my husband as well. And my baseball team I coach. So it's like you're pouring out. So pouring in is so important for me. Is keeping my battery supercharged. Sleep is another thing for me too. When I started prioritizing my sleep, just making sure that I was getting that was really, really important.
There was a new sleep study that came out that men can thrive off of, I think it said 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and women, for women to thrive, no, it's more now. It's 8 to 10.
Holy cow.
8 to 10 hours.
Wow.
They said 10 hours like is really good. And you would really thrive off of that.
I don't even know if I could sleep that long.
Oh, I could.
I
definitely good.
Awesome.
Yeah. I go to bed pretty early though. I'm kind of a grandma. It's okay though. But yeah, sleep. If
like
I don't
before
sleep,
9 o'clock?
most of the time.
Wow, that's crazy. Like when are your kids in bed?
8.
Wow, that's really good, Abby. My kids are like, Mom, it's still light.
Oh, well, okay. Yes. Well, now
They look at
it's
me like I'm
winter.
crazy.
Now it's winter. During the summer, it's definitely a bit more difficult to get to sleep before 9 o'clock. But no, we do this with our kids at night. Like they shower, brush their teeth, brush their hair, get their pajamas on. And I'm like, all right, go to your rooms. They can either read a book in their room. They can draw for a little bit in their room. And then they can go to sleep if they're not ready to go to sleep yet.
I'm still tucking kiddos in and reading every night and snuggling and praying and playing stuffies.
Oh,
I'm trying to just
stuffies.
embrace it. Yeah. Right now I've got different personalities for Vincent's stuffies and they have different voices, different personalities. I just created 2 new personalities the other day. One's an LA Dodgers fan. The other one is a New York Yankees fan. Kevin the Penguin is for LA.
Oh my God.
And Carl the bunny rabbit is he's from the Bronx and he's sassy.
Spicy?
Yeah, he is.
Spicy meatball.
Yeah. So we've been talking all about Freddie Freeman and his home runs.
Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie, I've not been keeping up with the World Series.
Okay,
whatsoever.
So I just looked it up. Good stress is called eustress, EU stress. Eustress? Would you say that eustress or e-stress? Eustress. It can be positive short-term stress that can lead to positive emotions and results. Eustress can be physical or psychological and can motivate and energize you. Examples would be starting a new job, exercising, going on a first date, traveling, getting married, riding a roller coaster. Okay, so it's all short-term. Like,
right.
There's like a start and a finish, and it's a positive thing. So like that is a good stress, but like an ongoing weight stress that you're carrying, that's what's negative on the body. And
I think something to notice too, like at least this is how stress feels for me. Like whenever it's a good stress, I get like butterflies and I'm like, ooh, and you get excited about it. And whenever it's a bad stress, I just feel nauseous and it's heavy. Like I don't know how else to describe it.
Stress, for me, I definitely feel stress as anxiety. It's awful. Yes. And it's like a worry in a sense. I feel it in my chest. I also can feel stress sometimes in my gut. And it's like I'm not breathing right. It's almost like a fear thing. I don't know. I've definitely felt stress in my chest and in my gut. I feel it more so, in my tummy. In your tummy? Than I do anywhere else. Yeah. But it's interesting.
And you know what's so interesting? Like I would even consider like intuition, like that gut check. Like I would consider that to be like stress in a way. Like
I guess how you perceive something.
Yeah.
And how you perceive it is, can I cope with this or not? And if you don't think you can, it wears on you. Whereas if you can, it's like, I'm just going to get through this. Talk to me about a time where you felt super overwhelmed.
Just me as a person, I'm a very like motherly person. And so like, I want to help him and I want to fix this for him. And I know that I can't. And I think that's the overwhelming part of it all is like, I know who he is deep down. And like, he's so far from who he is.
Ooh.
And like
you can't control it. It's like,
and I can't control it. And it's driving me absolutely nuts.
You might get some relief from that. Just, I know, praying about it, but really 100%. Giving it to God and saying, I trust you, and say that out loud. Say, I trust you, God.
Yeah.
That you're going to wrap your arms around him and you're going to walk with him and myself and our families through this and put it on God, and trust that he's got a plan for this. God turns all things to the good.
Yeah.
And let it go, because you can only do what you can do, and you're going to make an effort and you're going to be positive. And then you got to rely on your faith and him to step in,
Yeah.
It's easier said than done, but like, this is a great opportunity to practice giving it to him.
Yeah. And also too, like I've been asking for him to show up more in my life. So this is just an opportunity for him to show me more.
And for you to trust him to do so.
Yeah.
And if you are control freak and freaked out, you're not going to see the blessings that he's going to give you.
Yeah. 100%. That's really good advice.
Yeah. And it's like, it's going to help develop your faith even more. I mean, faith is something that will continue to grow over time. You know, as you put more faith in him over the bigger things is when the most miraculous things happen, and you feel so grounded in your faith, and then you're stronger because you know that you trust him.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. The whole situation has definitely prompted me to pray more. Like, I'm praying multiple times a day now, as to where like I would just pray like maybe once a day. But I'm praying multiple times now. Like, usually anytime I'm in my car, I'm praying.
Isn't it weird that like when we need God, we talk to him more, and when we need him less, we
kind of not shy away, but just a little distant.
But God gets the closest to us in our darkest times. You know,
he's my support system, like over my husband, over my family. Like, he's the first person that I turn to now whenever I'm going through things, which is it helps tremendously actually with stress. Like, I'm like, just take it, fix it. Like, I know you can. So again, easier said than done though.
Yeah. So is this new? Have you felt like you've been distracted from other things right now going on in your life, like your kids or doing stuff at home?
Oh, well, yeah. I think there's always distractions. I mean, I love my kids, but yeah, they're probably my biggest distraction, just with the activities and all.
No, I'm saying, is this situation distracting you from being a mom?
I got you. Sorry.
And you're like so stressed and distracted by this thing that you can't do the job of being your mom and being mom and showing up for yourself. Like, some people get to the point where they're so stressed it shows up in other areas of their life. Like, they can't function.
I would say
you're definitely not there yet.
No, I'm not there yet. There was a weekend whenever it was fresh, like it consumed me all weekend. But I think once I knew that he was physically okay, like, I was able to, keep trucking on. But now it's just making sure that he just doesn't fall back into old patterns.
Yeah, and you can't control that. You can only support,
right? Which is like the thing of it all.
And something just popped into my head. Like, changing a mindset is powerful. Mindset is so powerful. So your mindset with this whole situation is going to determine how you carry yourself, how you treat your family, the people around you, and then also your friend. But like, I remember when I got pregnant, when I was about to open Fit Flavors, and I remember finding out and being like smiling, but like a little aggravated, a little disappointed that I would get pregnant right before I was opening my business. Like, how could that happen? Like, and I was really frustrated in the timing of it, because the baby was going to be due right after I opened the business. Like, and Vincent was born November 13th, and we opened like September 15th. Yeah. So, and I was busting at the seams when we opened. So it was just uncomfortable. And you can imagine, I wasn't tired. I was just like gassed up, actually. I was so excited to open Fit Flavors. But I remember driving to my rental kitchen one morning, and I was talking to my dad on the phone, and we were talking about it. And I said, I'm so frustrated. I don't know how I could have gotten pregnant right before I'd open a business. Like, this is just not what I want to be thinking about right now. And my dad was like, of all people, he's not normally the one to give me tons of wisdom. And he was like, Jillian, you don't get to plan for these things. Like, this is such a blessing, and it's going to be fine. Like, you're going to have this baby and nothing's going to change. Like, it doesn't matter when it happens. And like, he was so calm when he said it. And I go, okay. And in that second, I changed my mindset, and I thought, well, it's not going to stop me from opening my business. I'm still going to have the baby. It is what it is. I can't control everything that happens in life, and these are the cards I'm dealt. And that day, I just moved on from that burden of feeling like I was stressed from that.
Right.
Because at that point, like, I was going from cooking in a rental kitchen to opening a brick and mortar, which was a very large step for me.
Right.
And that was very overwhelming. A lot of newness that I was going through. And then to have, knowing that I had a child growing inside of me was just like, I was stressed. And in that instant, I had a mindset shift, and it totally changed my perspective.
Dude, I love the power of a mindset shift. Like, usually, like, I mean, I say that's my go-to, like, whenever I'm dealing with like things that bog me down or are negative. And I say that that's my go-to, and like I try my best to, but sometimes it is hard. It's definitely easier said than done sometimes. But if you can do it, it's like the best thing you can do.
Mm-hmm. I can think about one time being stressed so much that I made a positive chime. Actually, when we brought you on to help me, it was Sydney. She was with me. She was staying at my house for probably, I don't know, a week. She came in and she was traveling and she stayed with me. And she would have been 2020, no, 2021, 2021, 2022, what?
21.
And she was like, oh my gosh, you're insane. Like, and I remember her saying, like, I cannot, you're operating at such a, like a unrealistic amount to sustain yourself. Like, and I was like probably frazzled, or I don't even remember what was happening. And at the point I was just so overwhelmed with everything going on in the business. And we were growing during COVID. The business was like growing. We had grown substantially that year. And I was learning how to manage a different business. I was hiring new managers, and we were dealing with all the COVID stuff. So we had launched online. We were shipping out of state. There was a lot going on. And she's like, why are you not, like, let's hire you an assistant? And I just remember being so stressed. And then it brought me to that point where I made a big change in my life. I brought on help, and it changed my life. It changed my life.
Yeah.
You know, and so like sometimes stress will take you to a point where you have to deal with it. And unfortunately, I probably didn't even recognize it for myself. I was so fortunate to have a friend there to point it out to me. And, but knowing you need to make a change. So sometimes stress will bring you to a point where you got to look at your life. Like if you're a woman listening and you don't make time for yourself and you're like, man, I wish I had time to go work out, or I wish, what can you give up? What can you off put? Can you pay out? Is it a financial investment to get a babysitter, to do something? I don't know what that thing is that you need to do. Maybe it's go talk to a therapist. Who knows? Yeah. Like I've gone to therapy over the years. Like if you need to make a change, sometimes it's just like pulling the Band-Aid off and making that change to take that next step up. And then like everything just opens up and you can breathe again.
Right.
So like stress can lead you to a point where you're forced to make a change. And I would say, make the change. Like, just don't
fight it.
Like we live in that area or that space for so long, and it starts to feel awkward, and it's time to make a change. And that's a good indicator. Like, here, do something extreme or different and create space for yourself. So I was just thinking about that.
While you were giving examples on how, as a woman, to make some time for yourself too, something that I've done recently is maybe like 2 or 3 days a week, I'm waking up earlier just to have alone time. Like my kids are still sleeping.
Like
my
an
husband's
hour
gone
earlier?
Yeah. I wake up at like 5.
So you're only getting like 9 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So wait, 9 to 5 is 8 hours, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you normally sleep till 6?
6:30.
Oh, yeah. So you're 9.5 hours. Dang.
Yeah, girl.
That's cool. That's why.
And on the weekends, it's definitely 7:30.
It's why you're so beautiful and have such gorgeous hair.
Do what I can. Do what I can.
Wow. I'm like a 10 to 6. That's 8 hours.
10
right?
to 6. Man,
right?
that just sounds so late.
10 to 6:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Because the boys are down at like 8:45, 9. So I'm maybe 9:30. Some nights I'm in bed. But, you know, I try to spend a little time with Jay.
Oh my gosh. A couple weekends ago, Raymond and I were at a wedding and we stayed till like 11:30. And I was like,
I was in Vegas for Sydney's birthday. We stayed at the club till 3:30.
In the club. In the club. We all fam.
I don't know what that's from.
It's like a TikTok sound.
Ah, gotcha.
And then so it's someone that goes, in the club, we all fam. And then someone reacts like that. They're like, huh? What? And they go, in the club, we all fam. And then they react the same. And then the person goes, in the club, we are all family.
Oh. That was definitely not my family. Those people. That's not my people. I'm not there anymore in my life.
In the club.
No, maybe the people at the golf club are my family.
Yeah.
Working professionals playing golf.
I'm more like Sam's Club. Like those are my people.
Dude, Barbada texted me just a little bit ago and he goes, Costco or Sam's? Go. I'm like, Costco. Better quality, healthier options. Just
Sam's is getting a little better.
Really?
I will say they're getting some better options.
The one thing I loved about Sam's is they have this like line of products that are designed for chefs. I used to shop there a lot.
Yeah. That's the whole reason. Yeah. My dad. Yeah. Anyways, continue on.
all the towels, all the sheet trays, all the like spatulas, pots you could want. I bought a lot of that stuff when
Members Mark?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I belonged to Sam's and Costco when I started the business. And then
flex.
It's funny. Fit Flavors still shops at Costco for a few items like our nuts. And I want to say our Greek yogurt. It's just the pricing is outstanding. I want to say we also get our peanut butter from there. And sometimes some of our flours, like our almond flour. It's just priced so well. And it's not like an item Cisco is carrying enough for other restaurants.
I understand.
Like almond flour, it's kind of niche-y. But they got it at Costco and it's a really good price.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, you just can't beat the price for like a pound of walnuts at Costco.
You want to talk about stress though? Go to Costco on a Saturday.
I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I would go on like Tuesday. I'll go at Tuesday, like 9:00 in the morning.
Right when they open.
Yeah.
Fun fact about me. I don't know if you knew this.
You used to work there.
I used to work for Leaf Guard Gutters.
Oh, geez.
It was a gutter guarantee never to clog.
Uh-huh.
And I would stand in Costco from open to close on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Abby.
And I would try to get you to make an appointment with one of the salesmen to buy gutters.
Wow.
I was that annoying girl that I was like, hey, are your gutters clogged?
Oh my gosh. How long did you do that?
A month. I was like, screw this job. I can't.
That sounds like when I was selling Cutco knives.
Oh, you sold Cutco knives?
I used to go to people's house.
That was like a pyramid scheme, wasn't it?
I mean, whatever. I cut the penny with the scissors. I'd slice the tomato with the tomato slicer. Yeah.
I mean, I almost got by Cutco and in the mall. They had a kiosk.
I actually still have Cutco knives. I've told you about the technology of the Cutco steak knives. They, if you ever look at them, they're serrated, and the way that the knives are shaped, they're so the serrated. So there's a knife blade, and then it goes in, across, and down, and then back to another knife blade, and inside there's a blade. So those pieces of the blade never get dulled because they're never on the outside of the knife. So you can just sharpen the front blades, but like all the other blades are protected. So they stay super sharp. Yeah. I still have all my like steak knives for my guests are Cutco knives.
Oh my gosh. This is so off topic. I love it. But another weird, odd job that I had, I was, I don't even know if I should say this, but it's fine. My best friend Carly and I worked for a guy who sold nuts at the mall during the holiday time.
Oh.
And it was called Nuts for Us. Uh-huh. And we would have to ask people if they would like a sample of our nuts.
Oh, wow.
Whenever.
Are they the ones like the
candied pecans, the almonds,
they
the
smelled so good.
Oh, they smelled so good. Yeah. But I wonder what he's doing, if he's still got the Nuts for Us stand. I don't know.
Before I ever even played golf, one of my first jobs was at a golf course, mowing the greens before tee off in the morning. In the summer, I got that job. It was a public course. It was not a private club. My basketball coach owned there was an 18 hole and then a 9 hole water course. And a couple of the girls on the basketball team worked there, like 3 of us. We'd get there at 5:30 in the morning. And by 5:45, we had our push mowers and we would have
push mowers.
Well, they were automatic, but you had to push them.
Right.
And we would run to our first green. So there would be like 7 of us mowing. Maybe 6 or 7 of us mowing. So we'd take the first 6 holes. So I'd have say I had hole number 1. Then my next hole would be hole number 7. Then I would go on to the other green and mow another one. So it was just like it was enough people to where like I mowed 4 greens every morning. It took about 30 minutes to mow a green and then you'd have to run across the golf course. But like I remember we would mow, like trusting a 16-year-old to mow the actual green. Like that is pretty ballsy. And like the way you mowed, I mean, anybody listening knows the golf course, there's around the green, there's this little like circle of grass that's a little taller than the green. It's called the apron. And like I would chip it all the time with the mower and there would be like all these extra little cuts. And it was like, I knew I was messing it up and they still let you do it. So,
oh my gosh.
And I think it's funny that I play golf today and I never golfed there when I might have played one time. Didn't even occur to me to play. I just didn't golf growing up. It was not a sport I played.
Yeah.
I was never exposed to it other than mowing the greens and emptying the trash cans. That was my job.
Humble beginnings.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. It was fun talking to you about stress. I mean, I think we all go in and out of these things. I hope you got some tips from today. As you know, this podcast is sponsored by Fit Flavors. We are your first resource in healthy eating. We are local here to the St. Louis area. If you're ever in town, please stop into one of our locations and come check us out. Hope you enjoyed today, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.